Saturday at UTSA. The game will be at 5 o'clock and can be seen on ESPN+. So to get things started, we'll begin with the head coach, Rick Stockstill, and then after he is done, then we'll turn it over to our student athletes. Thanks.
Thank you, AC. Appreciate you. And thanks for everybody being on here this morning. Anxious to get started in conference play, like AC said. San Antonio's got a good football team. You know, they beat Illinois the first game, and then they waxed Lamar, last week pretty good. So they've got a really good football team. Got just about everybody back, from last year, and, they beat us out there 37-35. So we got to have a great week of preparation. We got to get ready to go because this is a really good football team. And like I said earlier, conference play, it's a critical start. It's a tough place to play. It'll be loud there. So we've got to be able to handle that and be ready to go. But we're really looking forward to it and excited about getting this week started. So I'll open it up to you guys.
Hey, Coach. Cecil Joyce here.
Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Coach. UTSA has put up 91 points in their first two games. You mentioned them beating Illinois the first week. What have you seen out of their offense, and are there any similarities to them and Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I would say probably the biggest similarity between the two is they both want to run the ball first, and San Antonio is going to do that. They're going to try to establish the run, and that's what they're going to hang their hat on. Then they're going to take shots and try to get some big plays over the top. So I'd say the biggest similarities are, philosophically, they want to, establish the run and run the ball. And, so we got to be ready to handle that. So I would say that's the biggest similarity, but they're an explosive offense. They scored a lot of points last year against everybody. And, they scored 37 against Illinois and 54 yesterday or 2 days ago against Lamar. So it's an explosive offense. They can put points on the board, but to me, it all starts with their running game.
Hey, Coach, Sam Doughton here.
Hello, Sam.
Sort of flipping page a little bit to the other side of the ball. Defensively, it looks like they do a really good job run stopping. Had 6 tackles for loss against Illinois, had 4 against Lamar. But what are you seeing out of the Roadrunners defensively that you guys are going to be challenged with this week?
Well, they're a really good defense. They run well. They're fast. They'll come after you. They'll mix up their pressures. They'll come after you and try to get you behind down in distance on the chains. But the big thing is just their overall team speed on defense. And, they're an attacking defense. We had some plays last year. We gave up some, tackles for loss. They got us behind the line of scrimmage, and, so we got to do a good job. But to me, it's a really fast, typical Conference USA defense that, all guys can run, especially their linebackers and the back end, the secondary.
The Alamo Dome obviously provides a unique challenge for you guys. There's not many chances you get to play inside a dome in college football unless it's a bowl game environment. So what are you telling your team this week, particularly the new guys that may have not played in the Alamo Dome before?
I didn't talk about it yesterday. That was Sunday. I'll do that tomorrow when we meet. But, most of the guys played in it last year. And a few years ago, we played down there and played in it. So it's not going to be as many people there as we experienced last week or the other day against Virginia Tech. But those 20, 25, 30,000 people there, because it's inside, it's going to be just as loud. So we've got to be able to handle that and be ready for it. So we'll discuss and talk about all that this week. But we'll handle it fine.
Coach, how'd you come away from Virginia Tech game health-wise?
So I don't really talk about injuries, after a game, so we'll find out Saturday when we line up against San Antonio, and I'm not being, disrespectful or anything like that. I'm not going to talk about injuries leading up to a game.
UTSA was obviously pitched as one of the teams that's going to be at the top of the West Division this year. And this is sort of the first game where you guys are going to get a chance to measure yourself up against conference competition. How does your team, I guess, sort of feeling right now about where they might measure up going into this first conference game?
To me, not comparing us to anybody, and I hope our team's not comparing themselves to anybody. I'm confident with this team. Our team is confident. We have a good team, and we know the importance of this game, and it doesn't, matter if we match up, we don't match up. That's not going to, we're ready. We're going to be ready to play this game and get after it and, try to get back in the win column. So that's all our focus. And we know we're playing a really good football team, and we got to prepare ourselves mentally and physically to go on the road and play a good team. So, and I have full confidence that we will. And, but I believe in this team, and I hope, I know that our team, I know they believe in each other. So I'm excited about moving forward this week.
It's muted. Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, Chip was asking me a question, but I couldn't
Okay,
hear.
now I think I'm unmuted now, but talk a little bit about, you didn't have very many penalties at Virginia Tech, but it was almost like they came at just unfortunate times. You guys were very, very close of that being a fourth quarter ball game.
Yeah, we had 6 penalties there for 53 yards. We had 3 really, 2 post-snap penalties, where we got a penalty for roughing the quarterback when we pushed him there when he scrambled, and then we had another one offensively. So those 2, one stopped an offensive drive, and the other one extended, a drive for them, which they went in and scored on. So, the pre and post snap penalties are what drive you crazy as a coach. We had a couple false starts on both sides of the ball, and they came at critical times. It was 3rd and, fairly manageable, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. And, we get a false start. Now it's, 3rd and 11, and that's hard to overcome. So we've got to be more disciplined, in that area. But, you want to come out of a game, Chip. You'd like to come out of a game saying you didn't have any penalties. It's hard to do. But we talk about, the importance of playing smart and playing disciplined football and how it affects the outcome of a game. And, like you said, we were close to making that a fourth quarter game. Had we played a little bit better there in that middle of the 3rd quarter stretch.
Following up, you played all 3 quarterbacks again. Kind of give your evaluation on how all 3 guys played in the ball game.
I think they all 3 did a nice job. Bailey made some really nice throws. Kept his poise in the pocket there, and didn't force a lot of things. He had the one interception there that their guy made a really nice play on the ball, and so I thought he did a good job. I thought Chase came in and he's 7 out of 8. Threw a touchdown pass, does a really good job. Mike came in, had a nice run, came in on the Wildcat stuff, so all 3 of those guys continue to do a good job. And, with this day and age of, you worry about injuries, you worry about COVID. I mean, you never know, when somebody's going to knock on your door and they're going to be out, so I'm not, and I said it earlier, playing those guys doesn't mean we don't have a clue of who our quarterback is. All 3 of those guys are capable players. They're really good players, and they've done good things these first 2 games. So to me, it's only smart to continue to get these guys reps and get really all positions, other guys, reps as well, because you never know when somebody's going to be out. And it's like, yes, our Sunday practice, certain parts of our Sunday practice is really dedicated, for the younger guys, the guys that aren't getting to play a whole bunch, to get them, some practice, get them coached out there, because you never know when you're going to need one of them to step up. So I've been very pleased. I know it's a long way around your question, Chip, but to answer, I've been really pleased with all three of those quarterbacks.
Hey, Coach, it's Chris Harris. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Chris. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing fine. You touched on it a little earlier, about starting conference play. I'm curious to know, has your message to the team always been the same over the years as far as like the importance of the conference games, and how do you address it with them as far as what they mean?
Yeah, they know, players know, one of your goals is to win the conference. And, when conference play starts, it just, magnifies everything, the importance of every game, and to get where we want to be at the end of the year, there's nothing more important than conference play. Yeah, you want to win all your games. And, but losing to Virginia Tech 2 days ago, that didn't affect conference play. Them beating us did not help them in the ACC. Conference play is critical, and it's, to get where you want to be at the end of the year, you got to understand the importance of conference play. And so to answer your question, I would say my message hasn't changed over the years, because and the players, they don't need me to say, they know how important conference play is. They don't need me to get up there and tell them, hey, it's a conference game, we got to play really good. They know that.
Anything else for Coach? All right,
Yeah,
thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Have a great day.
We will now begin with our student athletes. First up is Reed Blankenship.
Hey, Reed, Cecil Joyce here.
Hey, Cecil.
Reed, talk about what you know about UTSA's offense, and after facing a Power 5 school Saturday, what you expect out of them.
Just like last year, UTSA, they're a fast team. They like to go no huddle. Their quarterback, he can move around. He's a good athlete. Just comparing them to Virginia Tech, the stadium's not going to be as packed, like Coach was just saying. That'll be a good factor, but it's in a dome too, so it could get loud. But we just can't wait to play them. It's a conference game, and we're ready to roll.
Morning, Reed. Sam down here.
Morning, Sam.
You just tell me a little bit more about the Alameda experience. Obviously, it's way different than any other stadium you are playing in conference. You say just because it's indoors. What are something maybe that you can pick up on the field that's different that we wouldn't notice at home necessarily?
Honestly, like you said, it is a dome. You don't have any weather to, complicate anything. Maybe the view would be a little bit different. Seeing the ball a little bit, it could be a little bit darker on the field just due to the weather and, the sun not being there. But honestly, it's not that big of a change.
Y'all have done a pretty good job through 2 games, in particular, of stopping the run in critical situations and getting yourself into good third downs for y'all as a defense. The UTSA is obviously a team that likes to run the ball a lot and establish run early. How do y'all feel y'all match up to them on that side, on that particular facet of the game?
I think we matched up pretty good. Our front seven did a pretty good job last week. They had a lot of pressure on the quarterback, allowed him to scramble. One thing that we need to do a better job of is when the quarterback does scramble, we need to get him on the ground fast. Just like last week, this guy can run. Just like I said, he's a good athlete. And when he gets out of the pocket, he can look downfield and make good connections with the receivers. So we got to lock on as a secondary. But I believe if we can contain them real good, get them on the ground, we'll be fine.
This is your, 6th year with the program. You've obviously had a lot of Conference USA games under your belt. What's it like for you personally getting into conference play every single season?
It's big. Our DC, Coach Schaefer, we take these first 2 games like preseason games. But, until you get to the conference play, this is the most important time of the year. We're very excited. We know the importance of it. We're going to have a different chip on our shoulder, especially from last year. We're our whole team just excited to play for it.
Anything else for Reed? Thanks, Reed. Now we're turning it over to running back Amir Razul.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Cecil Joyce from the Daily News Journal.
How you doing, Cecil?
I'm doing well. A couple of games in now, and the running game still really hasn't taken off. You've played 2 really good defenses. What do you expect out of UTSA's defense, and what are y'all trying to do to open up some more gaps?
Just the same thing that we did when we first started. Like I said in the previous interview, a lot of that is on, the running backs ourselves. You feel me? Us not getting to those gaps that we should be at, and as running backs, we are in the film room more now than ever. So, we can help out our offensive line, and make those plays when they should be made.
Morning, Amir. Sam Doughton here.
How you doing, Sam?
Doing great. You've obviously started your film study probably almost when you got on the bus coming back from Blacksburg.
Yes, sir.
What do you see from the Roadrunners defensively heading into this week?
Just a strong defensive line, and strong linebackers. Their front 7 are pretty good. In addition, the kicking game, they scored, I believe, a punt return, and that hitting yardage is something that I was looking at a lot.
This will be your first Conference USA game, as a member of the Blue Raiders, and you obviously played a bunch of conference games when you were at Florida State. But
Yes,
what's it like for you to finally get into conference play for the first time at middle?
It's just the same way I took it at Florida State. It was conference play, another game, another week for us to show what we're about, and just go out there and do what we got to do.
Have you played in a dome before since you've been playing collegiately?
Yes. Syracuse had a dome, and I played in the dome in Atlanta when we played Alabama. So,
just what's maybe something that a general fan wouldn't pick up on that's different for you guys on the field in a dome versus in an outdoor stadium necessarily?
There's not a lot. It's just like you can hear everything a little bit more louder because everything's so compacted and closed in, but not a lot. And it's probably a little bit hotter than it is like outside because not a lot of AC in there either.
Anything else for Amir? Thanks, Amir. All right, guys, just a reminder, we'll be back here next week. It'll be a short week as the Blue Raiders will prepare to play Charlotte on Friday night. So everyone have a great day.